not easy. My calendar is pretty much full. Clear up through Christmas Eve worship service here at Glendale. You know, even non-Christians are surrounded by the holiday patterns of shopping, partying, decorating, and hurrying. Many people are haunted by grief this time of year, lamenting broken family relationships and deceased loved ones and failed friendships. It seems like loss is never experienced any greater than is experienced in that time leading up to Christmas and Christmas Day. You know, even non-believers may find themselves yearning for connections with God and community that they seldom notice at other times of the year. You know, I thought about that, and I thought about our small groups that we're talking about setting up and we're going to get in place. And what a perfect opportunity that is for the church to connect with folks who may not be believers or who may be the under-churched or the nominally church, who are yearning for connections with God. A connection with God and a connection with community, and how these small groups can offer that connection and that community. But God offers the gift of steadfast love to the godly and to the ungodly alike. The sinful Israelites are offered hopeful words of comfort. Peter reminds us that God does not want any person to perish. And John the Baptist comes preaching not just repentance, but forgiveness as well. And God's gift of love isn't just for perfect people, not just for loving people, not just for Christians or Jews or Muslims or Buddhists or people who believe exactly like we do. God's Christmas love is for all people, so that as the prophet Isaiah says, all people shall see it together. All people, not just those who believe exactly like I do, but God says through the prophet Isaiah that it's going to be visible for all people shall see it together. You know, we're given this season of waiting as a gift. For in waiting, we are all invited to hear God's glorious promise of love. In waiting, we're allowed to grieve absent loved ones and lament unfulfilled hopes. All the while, God is waiting with us, waiting for the godly and the ungodly alike to hear God's tender voice, to receive God's constant presence, and to accept God's steadfast love. In this season of hurriedness and impatience, and it is a hurried and impatient season for many folks, isn't it? Hey, some of you say, yeah, you don't. I was over at the Ohio Valley Mall yesterday. Dawn took me to the mall. And I sat on the bench over there, outside of Boscov's, wooden bench, hard on my back, but wasn't as hard as walking up and down the hallways on the concrete floors. And I watched the hurriedness and the impatience go back and forth up and down the mall. Then I circled around and I sat on one of those cushy seats outside Craft 2000, which was a little easier on my back. But I watched the hurriedness and impatience going in and out of Craft 2000 as well. In this season of hurriedness and impatience, Peter's words fall like water from a soothing fountain when he says, regard the patience of the Lord. force us into a realm of love and peace that we're not prepared to accept or embrace. God awaits the day when we will hear and